Okay, today's video is going to be a little bit shorter, but as you can see, I've changed my setup a little bit. I'm using a regular microphone, and I'm using the little $99 mixing board plugged into the back of my camera, and we'll see if this happens to be a little bit better for you. And I've set this up so it's mono, so there won't be two stereo sources. But today I want to touch on external digital to analog converters, just real briefly. So if you happen to be like I am, and three of the CD, SACD, DVD audio players that I have were from 2003. I have a Yamaha over here that's an S1800 that's also an SACD, CD, DVD player. It's from 2007. And so when you get something that's 13 years old or even older like the Sonys were, there's been a lot of improvements in the digital conversion that takes place. And so I had been kind of lapsed in not really taking a look at what was out there. So there's two kinds of interfaces. The first one we talked about is if you're just going to use your computer for listening or recording, this $150 Focusrite box is really all you need. It's also got the microphone inputs, but it's got a headphone output. So if you just wanted to listen to audio in a better way, getting the digital to analog conversion out of your computer will always be a major improvement. This takes just the standard computer USB cable, and it's also got output jacks on the back, so you could run this to your stereo or a pair of powered speakers. But for $150, it's very hard to beat improving your computer audio for listening, even if you don't record anything. Now, for upgrading your disc spinners, you're going to need some kind of an analog, a digital analog converter like this one here. This is a Project S2 box, Project Audio Systems, and this has been the first digital to analog converter that I bought for using with my disc players. It's Class A stereophile rated, which means it's very, very good. You can actually see the review of this device off the stereophile.com website, and you can look at reviews, and when you click on the menu on the top, it'll take you to all of the different types of components that they've reviewed over the years, and you can just go under digital processors and you can find this Project Audio Systems S2 DAC. And one of the reasons that I bought this was a couple. Number one, it was very inexpensive for $300. But since most digital conversion today is jitter-free, jitter is the accuracy in which the ones and zeros are sent out from the player itself. So jitter is really not much of an issue anymore. But what's become more apparent has been the filtering that's used to make the perfect sine wave for all of the audio that's being converted from ones and zeros to analog. So this little device, it's pretty unique, I like, because you can actually use this on your computer as well. It's got a USB input on the back. It's got an SPDIF coaxial output, which you would run from your disc spinners. It's also got an optical in, which is not used too much anymore, except for home theater receivers, and most of those these days have gone HDMI. And then it's got a little USB jack for power. This is powered by 5 volts DC, which is what comes across all of your USB outputs. And then it's got your two little RCA analog outputs on the back. This is a great sounding little DAC. What I really like about it is it's got 5 filter choices that you can select from the front panel. The sound of them is all a little bit different. Some are slow, some are fast, some are appetizing, some are linear phase. But what you can do with this is it's almost like a little mini tone control. Generally, the filters that I've liked are numbers 2 and 5. 5 is probably the most accurate of all of them, but it's also got a little bit more bass in it. So generally, if some music that I'm listening to has too much bass, I'll generally go to filter 2. But you should try all of them on this little box. If you've got a disc spinner that's 5 years old or more, I would really recommend you take a look at this S2 deck. And now the new version is called the S2 Plus. And I bought mine from Audio Advisor. They have some B stock. And it also comes in silver if you happen to like silver. So, but I love this little box, considering that it's Class A stereophile and it's rubbing elbows with decks that are costing $1,000 and $2,000. For a little $300 device to do this well is pretty remarkable. They also make this same box built in with a built-in headphone amplifier. So if you wanted to use this and you also wanted to use your headphones, you can buy that as well. I happen to have some little bitty headphone amplifiers that I use, and so I didn't particularly need that. And I take the output of this that goes into my headphone amplifiers, and then I listen to my cans on that. So again, if you want to improve your digital audio experience and you've got some old CD players or whatever, you might want to consider picking up one of these. The Class A Plus digital to analog converters that are out there now are running anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. So this really is a bargain. So give it a try.